What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from Gothamist, study shows those released under New York's bail reform laws are less likely to get arrested. So what they're doing here is taking exactly the opposite of what's true and shoving it in your face because they think you're that stupid. They're obviously going to bat for the political establishment. This is nothing more than a propaganda piece. It doesn't take a doctor, it doesn't take a scientist or a lawyer to realize that what they're selling you is absolutely not true. But they're going to do it anyways because they think you're that stupid. And on this note, because California and New York have to read from the same playbook at the same time, there was a clip of a California politician at some ceremony near San Quentin prison, notorious prison, saying that, well, we're more safe, we're safer if we let the criminals back into our community. It's like, that doesn't make any sense, bro. But they're just going to sell it to you anyways because they know they have the power and you can't do anything about it. And if you even try to do something about it, you, of course, now are considered the criminal. They say, controversial new state bail laws that some politicians say lead to offenders getting released and then rearrested actually had the opposite overall effect, according to a new study of criminal justice data released on Tuesday. Yeah, we came up with a study that will support our weirdo agenda. Even though you can talk to police officers, you can read articles, every other day from the New York Post that officers are leaving the NYPD in droves, partly citing the revolving door of criminals, right? Why do they do all the paperwork? Why do they do all the legwork, all the footwork to put somebody in a precinct for maybe half a day and then he gets right back out? There are videos, quite literal videos, articles of criminals laughing, taunting the cops, saying things like, I'll be back out in no time. They know it. You can see people in an old video of a guy stealing like 20 steaks or something from Trader Joe's. They know there's no consequences. Every single one of these crimes have become automatically high reward, low risk. And then you got propaganda rags like this saying, yeah, well, we did a study and it works. No, it doesn't work. Right? And they're telling you, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't read any of these stories. And look, the media does lie. We know that. The media is constantly fear-mongering. But there's no way you can convince me that letting people out, especially in New York, when you have these hardened... there's a story from Gothamist as well of juvenile center guards smuggling contraband into teenagers, right? So they now want you to believe that, well, we should just let these people out and then they won't come. It doesn't make any sense. None of this adds up, right? And they're going to give everything to the illegals, cater to the criminals, cater to the transformers. They get everything. But a regular taxpaying citizen of New York or California is the bottom rung because anybody who's actually doing the right thing is a threat to them because eventually they know all of their crimes, all of their corruption could be exposed. So that's why they like criminals and junkies, because they're still manipulated. Like, they can still be controlled. They can still be manipulated. If you're doing the right thing, you are going to eventually come to the conclusion that these people are crooked and I got to get out of here. It's really the only way it can go. The study from John Jay College's Data Collaborative for Justice showed that the 2020 bail reform laws eliminating judges' ability to impose bail for low-level crimes equally reduced the likelihood that someone would get arrested again. I just don't believe they can prove that. It's ridiculous. But it doesn't matter because just the fact that they say it makes it true. The one exception was for bail-eligible people who were released following recent violent felony arrests. The rate of rearrest for that cohort of offenders increased slightly. So there you go. You only have to read 2 or 3 paragraphs to debunk their own headline. But that's how manipulative they get. There was another story about the kid in San Francisco who they said he was... In the headline, they said 12-year-old arrested. Turns out, no arrest made. They were detained briefly, but they're not going to put a stop to a grown man committing crimes in San Francisco. So they're definitely not going to put a stop to a 12-year-old committing crimes in San Francisco. And these things, they run so parallel. We saw all throughout the virus, all throughout the hysteria, New York and California, I should say, did the same thing at basically the exact same time. And that trend has continued, right? They talk about safe injection sites at the same exact time. They talk about Mpox at the same exact time. They talk about polio even at the same exact time. They did everything. They get their orders. They get their marching orders from on high, from somebody behind the curtain. I don't know who it is. Is it Kamala Harris? Is it Bo Biden? Is it, the big billionaire donor that even mentioning his name will get you dubbed, an anti-Semite. It just never ends with these people. No matter what you do, they're going to make you jump through hoops. They're going to make you believe every single contradictory point that they make. To prove the hypocrisy is the point, right? That lets you know they're still in charge. Yeah, we said that you shouldn't leave the house without a mask, but people are getting robbed, so now we're saying that you can't go into a store with a mask. And the whole thing is obviously to destroy the city and create nonstop chaos that they benefit from somehow, some way, whether it's just asking for more funding. I don't even know. I really don't know how they benefit, to be honest with you. But I know they wouldn't let this happen if they weren't. That's the bottom line. Why do they love sanctuary cities? Why are they letting illegals take over? Why are they letting criminals take over? Because they are benefiting from it somehow, some way. Fundamentally, we found that eliminating bail for most misdemeanors and non-violent felonies reduces recidivism in New York City. While there was no clear effect in either directions for cases remaining bail eligible, Michael Rimple, director of John Jay College's Data Collaborative, said, look, so they already told you that what they put in the headline wasn't exactly true. But they also know that most people aren't going to read the full article, right? I encourage you to. I'm not even going to read the full thing because it doesn't matter. It's all nonsense and, hypocritical junk. But it didn't even take that long to realize that what they put in the headline wasn't true. And they're just going to run with this. Oh, well, study shows, right? And they know that you're not going to look into it. They know that nobody can fact check it, right? And that's what we used to see during Rona with the counters and the hospitals overflowed and the case count and all this. They know that nobody can actually check that stuff. So they can do it without a care in the world and just jam it down your throat, use it to scare you into submission, like with every single other one of their talking points. I constantly say this. I feel like a broken record, but every single thing they do is just a different way to the same end of controlling every single thing you do. And I don't even know why. It's just they get their squirts. They get off on that. It doesn't even really make them that much money in the long run, but they just want the control because it's worth more than money. Which is also why we see these hockey players and stuff, the NHL, I should say, forcing LGBTQ stuff, even though people don't want it. Same thing with Disney. They force this stuff down your throat because they don't really, yes, the bottom line matters, but they are more beholden to the powers that be, the agenda. That is more valuable than the money ever could be. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.